Then came the storm, the worst the region had experienced in decades. Hurricane-force winds toppled trees onto power lines, flooding damaged water treatment facilities. The entire town was plunged into darkness, with authorities estimating a minimum of 2 weeks before utilities would be restored. 3 days into the blackout, desperation began to set in across the neighborhood. Refrigerated medications were warming to dangerous temperatures. Devices needed for medical monitoring died without power to charge them. It was on the 4th day that Barbara and Frank, an elderly couple living 3 houses down from Mathew's property, made their way to his train car. Frank's insulin needed refrigeration, and they had heard rumors about Mathew's strange home possibly having power. With no other options left, they swallowed their pride and knocked on his door. When Mathew slid open the train car door, Barbara and Frank stood speechless. Inside was a warm, inviting space filled with soft light. A small refrigerator hummed quietly in the corner. Lamps illuminated comfortable seating areas. A fan gently circulated cool air throughout the space. Mathew didn't hesitate for a moment. He welcomed them inside, clearing space in his refrigerator for Frank's medication. Barbara's eyes filled with tears as she looked around at the ingenious solutions Mathew had created from what others had thrown away. News traveled quickly through the powerless neighborhood. By nightfall, Mathew's train had become an unexpected gathering place. A dozen neighbors crowded inside, charging essential devices and enjoying the comfort of light and moving air. Children watched movies on Mathew's small television, while adults marveled at the systems he had built. For 11 days, Mathew's train became the community hub. He never turned anyone away. He charged phones and medical devices, shared his kitchen, and showed curious neighbors how his systems worked. When power and water service were finally restored to the neighborhood, something fundamental had changed. The community truly saw Mathew for the first time. They recognized the ingenuity and resilience that had been there all along, hidden behind their own prejudices and assumptions. The transformation extended beyond perceptions. Neighbors helped build a small deck outside the train entrance. The petition to the town council was withdrawn, replaced by letters of support for Mathew's innovative housing solution. Barbara, a retired journalist, wrote an article featuring Mathew's sustainable solutions. Published first in the local paper, the story quickly spread to larger publications. People were fascinated by the elderly man who had created an efficient, independent living space from society's cast-offs. Soon, Mathew began receiving calls from people across the country wanting to learn his techniques. He got offers from a community college for a teaching workshop on sustainable living and upcycling. The City Parks Department hired him as a consultant for eco-friendly installations. At 70 years old, Mathew Peterson found himself with more work opportunities than he had ever imagined possible at this stage of life. The train car that had once been his last resort became both showcase and classroom, a tangible example of possibility and reinvention. His story spread far beyond the small community, inspiring others to look differently at both discarded materials and discarded people. For the neighbors who had once mocked him, Mathew's train became a powerful reminder of how quick judgments often prevent us from seeing the true value hiding beneath surfaces that appear different or unusual. Sometimes the greatest innovations come from necessity, and the most meaningful lessons arrive from unexpected teachers. And what about you? What assumptions might you be making about the people or situations around you based solely on appearances?